What's up everyone, Adam here from Cape Crawlers, and this is the brushless conversion for the SCX24 Gladiator Part 4. Welcome back to the channel everybody. Got another, yet again, very special video for you today. This one is extremely special because we just got the brand new Micro Komodo brushless system here. So you remember from the previous videos I put the new Mofo RC SMP, the slow motion pancake system, in the Gladiator. Promptly broke an axle within 5 minutes of driving it outside. So what I did was I took that system, I put it right in the deadbolt, old snaggletooth, and it has worked so well in that chassis and in that platform. I don't want to change it. So what I did was I ordered the Furitek system so that we can do head-to-head comparisons. We can do a whole bunch of awesome stuff with these things. So what we're going to do today, we're going to open these things up, we're going to install these in the Gladiator, and we're going to do some run footage and hopefully get it outside if I can get this done early enough and see how these two stack up against each other. I don't know if we'll get to the head-to-head portion in this video, but we're definitely going to do the install and the initial run and kind of some first impressions. So this is going to open up a whole new avenue of comparisons and cool footage and things that we can do with these rigs. So I'm super excited. So let's dive in a little closer and check out the install. All right, before we get into the install, let's do a quick look at the Furitek motor here. So I've already started messing with this, as you can tell. I've got the mounting plate kind of off. I've got the transmission bolted up to it, but let's take a look at this motor compared to the SMP. So first impressions right off the bat, it's definitely bigger. Probably from a total mass standpoint about the same, because this is much smaller in diameter, but it's just longer. Action on it is much more chunky than the SMP. The SMP was buttery smooth turning this motor. This has a little hitch in it. You can see that. And also it's very clear that the gear on the motor significantly smaller on the Micro Komodo here, which is interesting. But fit and finish on this, very impressive. Again, very space age looking. Just a cool setup. Furitek does a great job with their components. The mounting plate. I do want to showcase the mounting plate. So here it is with the transmission bolted up to it. But just a very nice piece of hardware here. Machined aluminum, clean edges, nice color, great fit and finish. The transmission bolted up very easy. Precision parts right here, I feel. So the mount itself, and then it has this this carbon fiber cover to go on it over the transmission. Just a sharp looking unit right here. This is going to look fantastic in the Gladiator with the red and the black. So this will really mesh well with the build, and I'm very excited to see how it stacks up against the SMP. But let's continue with the install. I've got a brand new Lizard Pro, just going to throw this on. This is the exact same thing that we got on the deadbolt now that we ran in their Gladiator prior, so we're familiar with that. But let's go ahead and do the install of the motor and the transmission and get this thing booted up. All right everyone, here we are. Micro Komodo installed. Let's look at this thing. It looks gorgeous in the Gladiator. Gotta say, the red and the black, this is just perfectly suited for this thing. After seeing the Mofo motor in the deadbolt, I think it's perfectly suited for that one. I can say the same thing for this, that the Micro Komodo is just destined for the Gladiator. Looks fantastic. So we're all wired up here pretty much. I was actually able to utilize the stock ESC tray. Had to trim it pretty significantly to get the Komodo to fit, but then had enough space over here to perfectly situate the Lizard Pro ESC. So I'm really happy with how the wiring looks and how the setup looks. Still struggling on where to put the battery. Once again, I'm going to just have to slide it in here for the time being. But we're at the point now, I'm going to turn it on and get it booted up and then take it for some runs. Here we are once again, Gladiator with the brushless motor in here. So this is the Furitek. Let's try it out. Put it in low. Let's see what we got. Oh boy. There it is. Thing of beauty right there. It's louder. I can tell already it's louder than the SMP. this thing around so you can see that motor doing its thing. So the motor starts to spin before anything even moves. So smooth. So here it is all buttoned up. Now I was able to keep all of my stock mounting positions for the shocks, keep the stance that I wanted. Body closes nice and tight. Shout out to RC All-Wheel Drive for getting me back up and running with a fresh pair of CVD axles for the front portals. So here's the Gladiator, good to go, ready to rock and roll with the Komodo in it. So I'm going to get everything kind of cleaned up, still try to situate that battery a little more, and then let's get it on the course and take it out and have some fun. All right, moment of truth. Here is Micro Komodo in the Gladiator setup. You can tell right away that it's faster. Low mode on this is much more powerful or quicker. It feels like medium in the deadbolt or on the SMP, but it's still very slow, very slow. Look at that. You see a little bit of a hitch in the body. It's because the battery is sitting on the drive shaft, and when it turns and catches that battery a little bit, that's when you get that hitch. Boy, it is slow and controlled. Much noisier than the SMP also. Let me try that on medium here. Oh yeah, way faster. Still really good control. Down low, super smooth. Lots of power. That's impressive. All right, let's do the escalator. I'm in low mode here. It's really interesting. I feel like it can go as slow as the Mofo, but it has such a broader range of power in the modes. It takes no effort to get big boost of power. Alright, try medium here. Be a little more aggressive with the throttle. Nice. Let's try high just for the heck of it here. Holy cow, it's jumpy. Oh my gosh, the high mode is crazy. It's like shaking the table. All right, Hell's Gate. Let's see what we got. Thing I've not done is mess with my limiting straps, since I had to change the chassis around to get the electronics in, so we'll see how this does on this steep incline here. Holy cow, the crawling ability is just crazy on these systems. Lost my line there. There it goes. Holy cow. Nice. Even with a mistake, it recovered so good. Let's try it in medium. I'm super impressed with just the broad range of power that the Micro Komodo has. Oh man, no problem. So smooth. And I'm gonna try it in high just for the heck of it. See if we can set a speed run here. Speed record. Oh my god. This thing. Oh man, it's like a buggy. It's crazy. Before I give you guys my final thoughts, I want to show you an update on what I did with my electronics. So I did some brainstorming, kind of looked at my parts bin and see what I had, and this is what I've come up with for a setup. What I've done here is I had to take the Grizzly Works chassis completely off, which is a bummer, but it just wouldn't fit with this setup. And what I ended up doing was I took the stock Gladiator battery tray, put that back in here, mounted the ESC on it, trimmed the front a little bit here, and then I added the Bronco stock battery tray because it sits sideways in the chassis. And because of the way it sits, I was able to put that right in the middle here on this downward slope on the chassis, which helps angle that weight down low. So we're still getting some low center of gravity benefits here. I put Velcro on here, and I've got a bunch of this Velcro, and I put Velcro on the back of my batteries. So I don't have to use a battery strap, just pop the battery in there, fits perfect, and it's solid. So this is really good from a aesthetic and function standpoint. I'm super pumped with this. For the ESC, for the Lizard Pro, I took the stock ESC mount from the Gladiator, again, mounted it up front, had to trim it to get the Micro Komodo in there, but that left just enough space on this right-hand side to put another strip of Velcro and put that on the back of the Lizard, and then it sticks right there perfect. So this is my setup right here. A lot of wires. You know, I tried to clean it up a little bit, but it is what it is with all these wires running around. But very happy with the setup. I'm super pumped with this. It's a nice clean look. Everything fits in there great. Body closes great. Awesome. And nothing rattles around, nothing falls out. So this is perfect. I'm really pumped with the setup. I'm gonna tuck that wire back in there. Once we get everything tucked in, it looks and fits great. Everything hooked up, it's great. So I'm really happy with this. You know, it took me a while to figure it out. Putting these things together after doing a mod like this is like a puzzle, but I'm grateful that I had, and I'm fortunate that I had a lot of extra pieces lying around that I could kind of nip and tuck and make a somewhat factory looking setup. So I'm pumped with this. Micro Komodo, so what do we think? Man, this thing's a ton of fun. I am just so impressed with how much power this thing has. I mean, it was evident right off the bat that it has such a broad, rich power band all the way through. Low range in this felt like high range on the SMP setup. I was very kind of taken aback by how much power this thing has. And putting it into high setting on the transmitter, this thing is a monster. Almost unusable, certainly like borderline unusable on the indoor course. It almost leapt right off the top of Mini Moab. It was insane. But I feel like I can come at this with a little more objective view. I think I'm over my geekiness from first trying out the brushless system. So now I think I can come at this build with a little more of an analytical, little bit of a critical eye. And now that I've kind of gotten over the initial shock of how awesome the brushless systems are. With that said, I am still completely enamored with this setup. The Furitek system looks gorgeous. The black and the red just complements the Gladiator build so well. I think this is just such a solid addition to the Gladiator build. And in a way that the SMP really complements the deadbolt build, I think this really complements the Gladiator build. So it was the right choice. What started off as a really crappy situation by breaking the axle so quickly turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because now we've got two amazing motor setups that are perfect for these rigs. So it all worked out in the end, although my wallet would disagree. But we'll give it some time to cool off while we make some great content with these things. But anyway, back to this review here. So the power delivery, again, so impressive with the Micro Komodo setup. It just goes and goes and goes. It has the slow speed crawl, the very slow speed crawl and control, but it just goes and goes, and you just keep squeezing the trigger, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes. And I really didn't even feel the need to switch out of low mode because it just had such a broad power band. Very impressed. And it was able to do lines, like there was the vertical line off to the side of the chute on Mini Moab, so you kind of start on the chute and then transition over to Hell's Gate. And I've never ever been able to do that line before, and this thing conquered it, and I was able to do it 2 or 3 times in a row. Amazing performance out of this thing. The grip and the control and the stability is just phenomenal. So just a heck of a build. Really impressed. It is noisy though. That's one thing I noticed right off the bat, that the Furitek is much noisier than the SMP, and I think it's probably on par, maybe a little more quiet than the Endura brushed Pro 50 I had in there. That thing was really loud too. So it has the similar kind of whininess to it, and pretty loud. Not obnoxious, but it's definitely much louder than the SMP motor is. But overall, very impressed, super happy with it. Great combo here. Again, wonderful fit and finish, bolted right up, super easy. The Furitek system, this ESC was just as simple and easy to use as the prior one. Just great software and hardware. The motor mount is glorious looking, bolted right up, no issues whatsoever. So very happy with the setup, and I'm pumped to have them both, and I'm really anxious to get you all some awesome content. We're going to put these things head to head in a bunch of different scenarios to see which one works better where and why, and maybe we can make a conclusion, but they're so different. I don't know if we can really pick one or the other. They're just totally different animals, both awesome in their own way. Even in the kind of limited amount of time that I've spent with these motors, they're just very different, both incredibly awesome stuff. So let me know your comments down below. If you've got one of these setups, let me know your thoughts. As always, I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned as we continue to explore the capabilities of these brushless systems. This just opened up a whole new world of performance and capabilities of these builds. It's going to be a lot of fun as we start doing some comparisons and get these things out in the real world and do some runs. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next video.